Welcome to 24/7 Sports. I am Tom Loy alongside national analyst Blair Angulo and director of scouting Andrew Ivins. Look, signing day was on Wednesday and it was crazy. We have some major headlines. Five-star wide receiver Chris Henry Jr. did not sign his letter of intent with Ohio State, still considering the likes of Oregon and USC. Five-star edge rusher Zion Ely signed with Maryland despite a push from Auburn, South Carolina, and a few others. Four-star athlete Legend Bay, an electric talent, actually flipped from Ohio State to Tennessee, signing with the Volunteers. And five-star wide receiver Calvin Russell remains unsigned with Syracuse, still considering LSU, Miami, Michigan, and a handful of others. Andrew, I want to start with you. I want to look at a couple programs trending up, trending down. We'll start with the positive. Who grabbed your attention on Wednesday?
Tennessee, they add Carter Gooden, an edge rusher, defensive lineman, originally from Canada. He was committed to UCLA. They were battling Vandy there down the stretch. They get him in the class, and really the big one is Legend Bay, originally committed to Tennessee, flips to Ohio State. Now he's headed to Rocky Top, right? And our guy Mike Roach was all over it. This is a guy, you can play him at wide receiver, you can play him at running back. I just think he fits what Josh Heupel wants to do. He's taken these high school quarterbacks in the past and found so much success for him. He fits in that up-tempo attack. And then when you take a big step back, Tennessee, best recruiting class since 2015. They're ranked ahead of Georgia. I'll say that again. They are ranked ahead of Georgia, and they hold on to five-star quarterback Faison Brandon. They got a five-star wide receiver, our top-ranked pass catcher at 24/7 Sports, Tristan Keys. He's on the way. They got another five-star offensive tackle, Big Squish, Gabe Osenda, who they are going to pair with David Sanders. So I really like Tennessee. Excellent day for them.
A lot to like there. I like USC and the way they're trending as well. Almost a wire-to-wire finish from a one class to a one class, and it started with a bang, getting Caden Dixon-Wyatt to flip from Ohio State, a player right there in their own backyard who could immediately step into that rotation after the expected losses of Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon. And then when you think about some of the other possibilities for this recruiting class, considering some of the news and the headlines that we saw at the top of this segment, Chris Henry Jr. is still in play. It sounds like they're battling Oregon and Ohio State for that signature. Ryder Lyons could be a possibility, the four-star quarterback from the state of California who has yet to put pen to paper with the BYU Cougars. And then when you think about all the things that they did in the spring and in the summer to lay the foundation for this group, 35 signatures, no real decommitments down the stretch, 20 players from the state of California, 21 blue chippers. I mean, the stats go on and on and on with the job that Chad Bowden and that staff did in Los Angeles. You have to like, if you're a Trojans fan, the direction of that program.
I don't think we can talk about trending up without mentioning Vanderbilt. Head coach Clark Lee signs the extension. Everything we talked about happening played out with Jared Curtis, the five-star quarterback, flips from Georgia to Vanderbilt. He's a Nashville native. He's going to stay home, put on for his friends and family and everybody there in Nashville. So massive win. They added Owen Cable and flipped him from Alabama, wide receiver, longtime wide receiver commit. So keeping him home as well. He's a local Nashville native, but it's all about Jared Curtis and Clark Lee in the future there. Diego Pavia is leaving. He will be gone off to the NFL. Jared Curtis has an opportunity to be QB1 upon arrival in Nashville at Vanderbilt, and just a massive win for Clark Lee and the timing of everything, getting the contract extension, landing arguably the #1 overall player in the country. We have him #3 at 24/7 Sports, but huge win for Vanderbilt. Let's look on the opposite side. How about a couple programs trending down, maybe didn't have a great cycle, didn't have a great signing day? Take it however you want, Ivins.
Clemson, right? And I think a lot of people are like, well, how much worse could it get? As a guy that does the rankings and evaluates all this talent, I have major concerns about the Tigers and Dabo Swinney moving forward because we know they don't use the transfer portal. They don't add anyone on signing day. They lose someone on signing day. And the reality is, if you look at the top 100 of our rankings, Clemson's going to sign just one player from that group. That's the first time that's happened since 2010. They haven't signed a four-star quarterback or four or five-star quarterback in over 3 cycles. Who's eventually going to take over for Cade Klubnik? And when you look across the ACC, Miami has the conference's top class for the 4th year in a row. Virginia Tech, James Franklin, he's got that thing ripping and roaring already. They signed their highest ranked recruiting class ever. SMU, they signed their highest ranked recruiting class ever. It's a completely different ACC, and I think for Clemson, dark days are ahead.
I think dark days are here for Penn State, and you have to go over to the Lions 24/7 message board to know that. When you think about that big thread, it's an issue because they made that decision so long ago, and there is still no clarity, there's still no direction, and it's affected their recruiting efforts. This is a program that was 26th nationally in the state into the season, number 3 obviously in the rankings on the field, so everything seemed to be going the Lions' way, but things have gone south, and they've gone south in a hurry ever since James Franklin took that job at Virginia Tech. A lot of those commits end up flipping to the Hokies, and Penn State hasn't had an answer. We were speaking with Jackson Ford on signing day about just being one of those last standing commitments in that class, and it was kind of tough to hear because he's on the message thread by himself with all his friends gone to Virginia Tech. So, they didn't end up getting Peyton Falzone, the former commit who ends up signing with the Nittany Lions. The direction is still uncertain. Will Terry Smith get that job? What direction will that staff go in? And, I think from a recruiting standpoint, it's going to be really important for them to get that hire right ahead of the transfer portal and ahead of the 27 cycle.
A couple quickly come to mind. I think it's easy to say Ohio State. They haven't put pen to paper with Chris Henry Jr., the 5-star wide receiver. They lost Caden Dixon-Wyatt, which you mentioned, the top 100 receiver to USC. They lost Legend Bay to Tennessee. That was a huge blow. But I think for me, Texas A&M not getting former 5-star top 100 guy safety Braylon Womack, not getting that one done. I don't know if enough people realize when he was on campus just a few weeks ago, he made a silent to Texas A&M. He was headed to College Station, and they were about to land the former Auburn commit who is now headed to Mississippi State. The other one is KJ Ford, top 247 edge rusher, ends up sticking with his longtime commit to Florida. That's a blow because the Aggies felt like they had that one in the bag as long as they turned up the heat. So tough finish for both of those programs, but I think Texas A&M and their struggles down the stretch are worth mentioning. But again, 24/7 Sports has a promo cooking right now. NSD 2025 is the promo code. With that, you can get 65% off a premium 24/7 Sports subscription and membership. Head over to the site and grab one today. But for Andrew Ivins and Blair Angulo, I am Tom Loy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
You need your sports news all the time.
We've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.